guys. This practice, a lovely floaty yin, is focusing on the spine and really just kind of getting out those little snap, crackle, pops from head to toe. If you happen to have a couple of blocks, please grab them. They will come in handy. If not, you will be totally fine with the option of using cushions. All good. Anything else, of course, that you want for Shavasana as well. We're going to move just through a really gentle flow, nothing too big, and then we'll slow it down. Couple of yin postures for relaxation. We're going to start seated as I am. Make your way there. Make yourself comfortable, and we'll get started. Once you have arrived in your seat, close your eyes. Make sure you're sitting nice and tall, but relax the shoulders away from the ears. Soft elbows, just letting the hands rest on top of the legs. And just take a few moments to breathe, to arrive. A few moments to check in with your body, with your emotions, with your energy. Just work out how you're doing today. And just let the breath be a really subtle rise and fall. And as you focus on your breath, feel it in and around your body, listen to it, hear it in your head. Let it invite you to just calm the mind and calm your body. Just notice that outside world getting a little more quiet. Not really needing to think about anything. Just a moment of midi meditation to begin. Take a big deep breath in through your nose, open your mouth, exhale. And just take a moment, drop your chin to your chest, let the eyes flutter open, bring yourself back into the room. When you're ready for it, enjoy a nice reach of the arms overhead. We're going to start to side bend, right and left, doesn't matter which way you start. Just take it one way and then the other. Nice big stretch. Opening up through the side body, starting to get some lateral movement into the spine. Just let the breath be natural with the movement. When you've done a couple of these, you might choose to add a little bit more to these side bends. Perhaps dropping the chest over the legs, sweeping the ground in front of you, a little semicircle to change sides. Just adding a little more dimension into the spine. Starting to warm up the hips a little bit as well as we just move around the legs. Let's just do a couple more either side. And when you come through that last one, take your time, just bring your hands to the floor in front of you. And however is most easy from there, make your way into down dog. Perhaps just rolling forwards, lifting the hips. And once you reach down dog, have a nice little wiggle, bend and stretch through the legs. You know the drill. So keeping it quite short and sweet for this one. Sometimes it's quite nice just to take that little moment to yourself. It doesn't have to be a profound practice, just a little moment away from it all on your mat. That's what we shall get to do today. And once you've had your wiggle, find a moment to be still. Nice wide stance, little micro bend in the knees. Just resting on the balls of the feet and into the fingertips. Relax your head. Taking your time, start to walk forwards and just let the body dangle over your legs. Have the feet comfortably wide. Try and find a bend in the knees so that your tummy, your ribs drop to the legs, to the thighs. Maybe reach around opposite elbow, sway it out. And you want to feel like all the tension and all the stress that you might be holding on to, maybe physically, maybe mentally, let that just drop out. Drop it to the floor. Relaxing the hands. Start to curl up through the spine, standing nice and tall. Just take a shrug of the shoulders. From your Tadasana, we're going to start to move the arms. Shrug the shoulders and add a little bit of elbow. Again, the breath just follows the movement follows the breath. Just start to make that bigger. Use your feet against the floor. Use your glutes, your legs underneath you for support. The arms start to open up. We sweep big circles backwards. We're going to do this one more time. And just land with your hands onto your sacrum, onto your lower back. Now, if available, fingers face up to the sky, up to the shoulders. But if that's a little tight, they can just rotate outwards. Wiggle the shoulders back. Pull your elbows towards each other. Hug up through the thighs. Dip your hip bones forwards and just start to lift your heart center in a nice gentle back bend. Use your glutes for support here. Use your heels of the palms. Inhale. Nice. Take your time. Slowly start to squeeze those abs to stand up. Soften the knees. And just flop over the legs. With your next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soft knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. Lengthen it out. Exhale, fold. Inhale to halfway. And exhale, fold. Soft knees, curl up through the spine. Stand tall once again. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Breathe in. And either grab opposite wrist or interlace the fingers. And just take a nice side bend over to the right. And when you inhale, come back to the center. And take it over to the left. Inhale back through center. As you exhale, side bend over to the right. Soften into your knees and in a little semicircle, just sweep down to the floor and dangle over the legs. Curling up through the spine, stand. Arms rise overhead, breathe in. The exhale side bends you over to the left. Soft knees in that direction, swing to the ground. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, arms rise. Inhale, reach overhead. And the exhale side bends you to the right. Release into the fold, soft knees, swing it out. Curling up through the spine. Yes, we do one more to the left. Inhale. Side bend over, Soft knees, flop it down. Great work. Breathing in, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Just find that extension through the spine and then relax it down. One more. Hands meet the floor, step back, high plank, flow through a vinyasa. Always that option to use your knees as needed. Inhaling, nice little lift of the heart, downward facing dog. Rise the hips. If you'd prefer child's pose here, feel free to drop to your knees. Let's breathe for 3. Breathe for 2. One more inhale. From downward facing dog, move your feet together at the back of the mat. Send the right leg up to the sky, curl the heel to your bum and spin the knee open to the sky. Nice big twist. Start to melt your heart a little closer to your standing leg, dropping through the left heel. Both arms nice and long. Hold it for a breath. Start to rise onto your tiptoes, pivoting on your standing leg. Wild thing, right toes gently drop to the floor behind your back. Lift the heart, the hips nice and high. Big back bend, reach over with that right arm. Inhaling here, the exhale returns the right hand to the floor. High plank, flip over, face your mat. Lower your knees to the ground. And just walk the hands back to your knees. Keep the toes tucked under as you lift your head and chest. From high kneeling, circle the right arm to the sky. Squeezing your bottom hip bones go forwards. Right hand reaches back and lands on right heel. You can use a block here if you need the floor, the heel a little closer. Stretching up through the left arm, single reach, camel. Inhale. Squeezing the body, start to lift on up. Reach the hands forwards. Pick the knees off the floor. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, ripple forwards, high plank. As you exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a breath. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Left leg goes nice and high to the sky into your scorpion twist. Heel to bum. Rotate that kneecap to face the ceiling. Long arms. Push your chest back. Rising onto your tippy toes. Start to pivot over into your wild thing. Left foot gently to the floor behind you. Circling the left arm high. Take that moment in strength as you squeeze your glutes. Find your back bend. Inhale. And as you exhale, recover high plank. Well done. Knees to the floor, into your tabletop. Sit up on your knees, keep the toes tucked under. Just move with care as the left arm rises, breathe. Left hand reaches back into that single arm camel. Once you have your heel, send the right arm up and over. If you can, square your chest off to the ceiling. Inhale. Doing really well, guys. Rise it on up. Downward dog through to your vinyasa. Take your time. Just let that breath guide you. Flow forwards. And we land back into child's pose. Just sit back at the end of that. Give the arms a rest. Nice and easy. Drop your chest down, sit back on the heels, and just recover that breath. Now when you're ready, just start to lift your head and come up onto your knees, and we're going to take it into a seated position. So just drop onto your bottom, send the legs forwards, maybe scooch a little ahead on your mat, and we're going to take it through to a wide leg seating position. It doesn't have to be super wide, just wide enough that is comfortable for your body. Now, if the hips are a little bit tight, maybe sit on something. Otherwise, just stay flat on the ground. And again, you can use your cushions here. You can pile them up on the inside of the right leg. I'm going to use my blocks just because I have them to hand, nice to demonstrate with. So I'm going to place one block just on the inside of my right thigh. And this distance is going to depend on how the spine's feeling, how the legs are feeling. And we're going to take it into a side bend. So I'm just going to rest my right forearm on that block and stretch the left hand up to the sky. Now from here, you might wish to just gently cradle the back of the head, kind of whatever is comfortable for this left hand. Depending on how flexy you are, you could go for the higher edge, you could drop the block to the flatter edge. If you're feeling pretty flexy today, you might not even need the block and you can just go straight over. Again, cushions there for you if you need them. So just holding for 2 minutes. And you want to just feel all that space down the side body, down that left-hand side. And try not to close down the right too much. You want to think about kind of sending the shoulders a little bit closer to the right foot. And just breathe. Now notice if you're leaning back a little bit. Try and stay inside the legs. Doing really well, guys. That's 1 minute gone. If you need to make any adjustments, feel free. Perhaps work a little lower. Maybe take a moment to release if that left arm's getting a little tired. Come back into it. We hold for another 50 seconds, 45 seconds. Doing really well, guys. Last 5 or 6 here. And then slowly start to rise on up. Yes, nice work, guys. If you need it, close the legs, take a little pause of that seated stretch. Just give yourself a hug round the shoulders. Little drop of the chin to the chest. Taking the legs back wide once again, swapping sides. Block or cushions, move over to the inside of the left leg. And then we relax the left elbow, reaching the right arm overhead. Again, have a little play with the heights, have a play with the distance down your leg. If you're a little more flexy today, perhaps the ribs can go a little further down the left leg. Hand open, hand behind your head. Nice option, guys, if you want to, depending on if you have a block underneath you, you can kind of rest the elbow and use your left hand to support your head. Nice option there. And we just hold 2 minutes. Keep breathing. If more space opens, just relax into it. Stay forwards of the thighs. Doing really well. We got 1 more minute. Stay with it, yes. If there's a little more space, make it happen, guys. Just keep breathing. Five breaths. So good, everybody. Slowly, slowly out you come. Use your hands, press the ground away. Great job. Move the blocks, the cushions off to one side. Use your hands, close the legs. Give yourself a little squeeze, tuck your chin. What might feel nice here is to go for a little windscreen wiper. Just lean back. Add a little right and left twist. So once you've had enough of just gently rotating the legs, come back up to sit, and we are going to move it to lying down. Now, before you get there, make sure you've got everything you might want for Shavasana. So if you want a cushion for the knees or your extra layers, grab them to hand. For this next one, I'm going to use a block, but you can use cushions, either double up or just fold one cushion in half. We're going to go into supported bridge pose. Really nice release for the lower back. So when you're arriving into this pose, come to lying down and you're aiming for the sacrum. So that's kind of the flat bit of your tail. With blocks, we have 3 options. You've got the big flat edge, the long edge, or the short high edge. Now the high edge, totally fine if you're pretty flexy in the spine. For holding it this long, I would maybe say either reduce halfway or start lower and go up half, rather than staying on there the entire time. But it's up to you. I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to go for the long edge. So legs out ahead, lie down. Keep a bend in the knees, and if you're going for cushions, same thing. You want them underneath your tail, underneath your bottom. So you want to make sure they're not in the middle of your mat, in the middle of your back. Press your feet into your mat so you can lift your hips and just slide your block or cushion underneath you. Place the block under your coccyx. Now, the great thing about using a block, if you have one, is that it's quite a firm surface, so you can really relax into it. Cushions obviously have a little more give, so it's probably comfier, but perhaps not quite as high if you have that available to you for releasing the spine. Personal preference. Sometimes I love using cushions, but for today I've chosen the block. So wherever you are, once you have your hips up, just start to relax. Hands can do whatever they want. They could go overhead, create a little more space in the chest. You might even go for straightening the legs. What that will do is help it feel even more like a back bend. Start to open up the front of the hips as well. But it's entirely up to you, kind of what feels good, what feels natural. And then we just settle in. Soft breath, nice and relaxed. Maybe notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, what it feels like, especially the lower back. If you've got some lower back aches and pains, this is a great one for you. If you're a runner, a cyclist, again, this area can get pretty tight with all that activity. No, you can, not advised, as we do want to be present in our practice, but worst case, you could do it in front of the TV. Shh, I didn't say that. It's nice to use these still postures just as an opportunity to kind of come into yourself, really take a step away from the world. It'll still be there when you come off your mat in a few minutes' time. Doing so good, everybody. We've got one more minute. Handful of breaths. Trust the process. Trust the shape. Trust the support underneath you. Just let go, relax. 100%. Take a big deep breath in. Start to come back into your body a little bit. Feeling the feet into the ground with care. Lift the hips. Slide the block out from underneath you. Yes. Gently rest your tail back on the floor. Open the arms out wide. Maybe go for a little right and left with the knees. Just twist it out a little bit. No rush at all. When you're ready for it, knees to chest, give yourself a hug. Hands to shins, maybe even lift your forehead up to your knees. Just get a little rounding into the spine. With the head relaxed onto the ground. Let go of your knees. Slide the legs long to the top two corners of your mat. If you want to, use a cushion under the knees for that little extra support. Arriving into your Shavasana. Let the toes fall open. Nice long back of the neck, shoulders down. Close your eyes and just enjoy this final pause to yourself. Breathe in deeply. Open your mouth and exhale that breath away. Start to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, just come back into your body. Stretch out. For the last time, then hug your knees into your chest and just softly roll over to one side. Rise to a seated position, eyes closed. As we started, sit nice and tall, hands resting down, and just come back into your breath. Draw your palms to your heart center. For the time and the energy you've given to your practice. Namaste. Yes, yogis, my pleasure. The winning combo where the calm meets the strength meets the calm in just a full, well-rounded practice. I hope you enjoy. Any questions? You know where I am. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.